It's Oklahoma Archery. Everything archery based out of Oklahoma for Oklahoma. Let's get it started. Hello, everybody. I'm David Bosca, and this is another Oklahoma Archery podcast.
I'm Neil Cooley, and today, y'all, we've got Josh Butcher. We're going to talk about one of the most fun archery tournaments in the continental United States today. So how you doing, Josh?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on, guys. Greatly appreciate it and looking forward to it.
Man, it's a good one. If y'all haven't been, we're going to tell you a little bit about this trail shoot. It's a orange dot tournament, kind of similar to Reading, just a little bit different format. So, Josh, we're going to let you tell us about your shop. Tell us a little bit about your event before we get into the gory details of it.
Yeah, so we've got a sporting goods store located in Wabash, Indiana. So we're about an hour and a half straight north of Indy. I've managed the archery department for my family for, since 2003. So it's been a fun ride. And about 8 years ago, we thought about trying to do a Reading-style trail shoot on this side of the Mississippi so that we could get some exposure for that style of shooting without people having to go all the way out west to do it. And we put our heads together and put this together, and slowly been adjusting it, tweaking the program, and we got a pretty good program going now. You alluded to the dots, but being different. A few years ago, we came up with the idea of doing the orange dots, but then also adding the yellow rings around it so that it was more uniform scoring to get into those other rings. So it's worked out really well.
So the middle dot being orange is an 11.
Yep.
The outer ring being yellow is a 10.
Correct.
And anything foam is an 8. So there's no way a guy could go out there and shoot a nickel on this 70 target course.
Yep, that's correct.
So if you guys haven't figured it out, I try to go to this one every year. It's one that Rick Gilly is usually trying to twist my arm into going. And the thing about when Rick Gilly calls and says, get in the truck, we're going to shoot archery, you get in the truck and you go shoot archery. So this is one of them that it's probably 8 or 9 hours from Oklahoma, maybe 10 at the most, but it's a Saturday, Sunday event. You shoot 40 targets on Saturday, 30 on Sunday, and then if there's any need for tiebreakers in the different classes, you have a shoot off on Sunday.
Yep, that's correct.
NFAA classes, so adult male freestyle, all the way up to, down from the kids divisions, all the way up to master seniors. Not all of them will shoot the full distance. Is there a closer stake for some of the archers?
Yeah, for the youth and the amateur women, they have some shorter stakes.
Okay.
So, and then we've got all that information listed out on our website. We actually publish each of the yardages for not only all 70, but all the stakes.
There you go. So you could actually leave your rangefinder in the truck and be just fine.
Yep. And we mark them off at each of the stakes themselves. So we have bow hangers at each of the 70 stations that will tell you what your yardages are per stake, what your sticker sizes are on those animals in front of you. And then we also have it on the back of the scorecard. And then we also have the adult male modern bow hunter class. So that way we've got a class for the people who wanted to fit into that category. So it works out well. And we've got a really good explanation on it too.
So is that a slider bow hunter site?
Yep. That adds you the slider. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. I know we've been trying to push the NFAA to adopt that class. The ASA's done it, seen a lot of good growth in that class. So I'm glad you all are kind of leading the charge on it. Is it a NFAA sanction?
It is not. No, it's kind of like our wild card one. It was one of those things to where we do one for the crossbows as well, because the crossbows, you've got your speed cap of like 330, and very few people are underneath that with the crossbow. So we call it like an outlaw class that we give them. So it's kind of like the Vegas shoot. We're NFAA sanctioned, but at the same time, they allow us to tweak a few things and do an outlaw type division. And that's one that we felt like enough people were asking for that we wanted to do.
Well, cool. We'll get to it also at the end, but you just mentioned your website for people just here on the front side. What website is it that they do need to go to?
Yeah, they want to check out bassandbucks.com, and then down at the bottom of it, we've got a hyperlink to go to the actual trail shoot page. And then we also have a Facebook group, and it's just the GAS LAS Midwest Classic Trail Shoe. So, and there's a link to that on the website as well to get you to that group. But the group's the the main place we communicate with people, but the website's got most of the information on it. April put together this really awesome flip book at the top of the page that you can go through, and literally everything's just right there in black and white. There's a couple informational videos on there, even going through the complete registration step by step to get you registered.
Well, people that are new coming in to shoot this, walk them through what they can expect. I mean, let's go from where they driving to where they driving to, what to look for, signs or buildings or sign-ups and just everything. Kind of let's break it down and tell everyone.
Yep. So right in front of our sporting goods store, we've got the big Bass and Buck sign. They'll pull into the big lot there. And then something that's going to be new for this year, we opened up the big gun room for this year, where last year the shell was here. So a lot of people got to see it, but it was just empty. So in August, we were able to open that up. So they'll actually be entering through the actual gun show room. And then we have these Bigfoot footprints on the floor that actually you follow the footprints to go to registration, which is in our indoor range. Then after registration, you retrace your steps back outside, go around the big building, and that's where the practice bags are, and that's where we'll do our welcome meeting from. Then after the welcome meeting, everybody will go out to the course and be on their station before we do blow the air horns or the shotgun start.
Cool. And is there local housing around there, hotels or something for everyone that hasn't signed up or ever been that they can find?
Yeah, and on that website, at thebassandbucks.com, go to the trail shoot page. Down at the bottom of that page, there's frequently asked questions, and that's got the hyperlink to go to the Visit Wabash County page, and it lists all the different options in our community.
You all have camping on site, I believe?
Yeah. So it's more primitive, and then also electric hookup here on site. It's first come, first serve. We don't have dedicated campsites set up, but we've never filled it. So we used to host the Reinhardt R100 here, and we did that for 16 years, and we'd have several hundred people who stayed right here on site for that. So we're well used to having the campground area here. It works out well. We have a shower house right here. So, yep, definitely open to do that. It's $15 a night for primitive, and then they add power. It's $30 a night.
That's more than fair.
Yep.
Yeah. To not have a drive in the morning, be that close to a bathroom, put someplace to go get out of the heat. I mean, we're down here in Oklahoma. It's June. It's hot, but up there it's been a nice balmy 70, 80 degrees. I mean, not much rain. Had a sprinkle the two times that I've been to it, but it's a rain or shine event. The only way we're pulling you off of it is if there's lightning, but it's pretty easy going weather. The biggest thing I can tell people about the difference in a trail shoot versus a 3D shoot is y'all have multiple bathrooms, multiple food snack stations. I mean, you can go every like 10 or 15 targets and there's somebody selling drinks, selling snacks. So you've got all the amenities out there on the trail, but it's not like a tack style hike. You know, it's pretty flat. It's a really easy path. You pull your arrows and come back. So it's not a shoot through style, except for a couple of targets. And it really flows pretty smoothly. I mean, you get, I don't know, is it four to six in a group?
Yeah, 4 to 6 is what we shoot for. Right now, with where attendance is, we'll probably be right around that 4 person mark. So we try to keep it as even as we can so that there's as few bottlenecks as possible.
When do you want everybody to start off?
Rephrase that.
When are your shotguns starting?
Okay, so it's gonna be at 10 a.m. on Saturday, and then it's 9 a.m. on Sunday. Yeah, so we're able to do a little bit sooner on Sunday because everybody knows the program, where they're going. We're doing a few less targets on Sunday. So,
do you see people bring a 3D stool to sit on during these?
Yeah, we would highly recommend having a stool. We've done very good with the course layout over the years, tweaking it. There are a couple spots where you're going to have a backup, but that's done by design. After you get through that backup, then it really gets smooth sailing. So, like I said, what few backups we have, they're actually there on purpose.
There you go. Gives you a little break, a little time to sit down, think about all those shots you just broke that you wish you could get back. And I mean, dude, I almost had 22 on Bigfoot last time I went. It was 21, had one in and one just barely out. And I was like, man, I want to hit that 1,500 mark. So it's 70 targets times 22 points is a perfect score is 1,540. And your pros might drop 2 to 3 points. If you want to be in the top 10 in the amateur adult male class, you better drop less than 10. I mean, you better be right around that 1,530, 1,528, 1,532, something like that. And you see these guys absolutely go out there and just, I mean, they put some numbers up.
Oh, it's amazing.
What's the attendance been like the first couple of years? Did you have 400, 500, 600?
No, the highest we've done is 2020, and we were one of the only national shoots that were able to shoot because of COVID. And luckily, our state officials decided they would put something in our bylaws or state laws that they could still have their golf outings. So we skirted underneath of that, and the local health department didn't shut us down. And we had 332 shooters that year. So, I mean, that's been our top over the 7 years we've done it. It's absolutely crazy because there's 3,100 people in our Facebook group. We got eyes on this event like no other. We got tons of people watching it, but I don't understand why we can't get the attendance higher than that. And I mean, as you guys know, putting these events on, it takes so much time, energy, and effort to get it done. And I mean, we really need that number to be over 400 before it's actually cash flow positive, because we're sitting here paying our crew for weeks at a time, months at a time, getting ready for the event. It's not just that weekend. So we've been very blessed to have some awesome sponsors to help pick up the slack, but we really need the attendance to get up if we're going to keep doing this year after year.
It is a fantastic event. If you've never been to an orange dot shoot, highly recommend it. I usually break out the skinny arrows for it just because it's a little bit longer distance. I mean, most of your stuff's between 40 and 70. You have an 88 yarder, you have a 101 yarder, but you got some short stuff too, all the way down to all the way down to 4 yards. So if y'all go back and look at our not just who was it? Oh gosh, Flingem Nation. Nick Ingham talks about running fat arrows out to 40 yards and skinny arrows past that, running 2 sight tapes at once. I haven't shot with anyone that's done that. I've shot with people that ran just skinny arrows. I've shot with people that ran 23s for the whole thing. So you kind of have some, you might need to change up your equipment a little bit or be prepared to stretch your sight tape out a little bit, because around here we're 45, 50 yards max unless we're shooting field. Y'all get out there. Most of it's in the trees. Not a whole lot of wind drift to accommodate for, but you do have some uphill and downhill stuff. So I know y'all put those elk down that 88 yarder that's pretty steep downhill, and man, you really see the bow do some different things we did not expect to have that happen. And it's like, man, you got to be prepared. You got to do your homework. So
yeah, and I would highly recommend people to look at that website, like you talked about, because I don't want people to get discouraged about, oh, we're shooting out to 101 yards. The vast majority of the shots are within 60 yards and in what I'll call normal hunting situation type deals. Yeah. And like I say, it's known yardage. You know what they are. There's only a handful over the 60 yards, and it just makes for a nice, good mix.
Yeah, clarify on that. It is absolutely clean and pristine lanes. You are not shooting through any type of shrubs, brush, limbs, nothing. No matter if your bow's fast or slow, you're not going to have any limb obstacles in there. You're not shooting through a fork in the tree. You can see the whole animal. You can see the whole orange and yellow dot down there. And y'all actually have, because those dots get shot up a little bit, and you have people with a big roll of stickers in their backpack come spray adhesive them on. They're like, hang on, guys, let me freshen that dot up for you before you shoot. And I was like, but I'm probably going to shoot this thing in the leg. It doesn't make it. Well, for my sake, let me go down there and respray the adhesive and put the dots. And correct me if I'm wrong, the dots, according to distance, are the same size as a NFAA field dot would be at that distance.
That's correct. Yep. Okay. Yep. We go off of their same rules for that.
Okay, so if you can shoot a field round, the farther out in distance you get is the size dot that you have to, and it's 3D with an aiming dot. So you can shoot it with a dot. You can shoot it with a pin fiber. You can shoot it with, I mean, Dave, I know you weren't running a fiber in your housing for a while. You could probably center that circle up on it, get in the truck and come with us.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Well, tell us about the terrain. What can everybody expect? I mean,
Yeah, so we're a little bit different than typical Indiana. Most people think of Indiana being very flat, but the Wabash River goes behind our property, and we do have some of the river bottom basin type terrain, like the 88-yard elk shot that we were talking about. That's pretty much going right down into the river basin, and we've got a limestone bottomed and walled creek running through our property. So we've got a couple cliffs that it's straight up and down 40, 50 feet. Now, we purposely stay away from those because we want people to be safe as they're pulling and returning and getting to and from all the targets. But we try to use the terrain as much as we can as well. So it's a nice mix of that to where it's not straight up flat, but it's nice and safe to get through.
and your pro shop, it'll be open Saturday and Sunday in case someone needs something?
Yep, that is correct. Yep.
Okay.
So, and we'll also be here Thursday and Friday, and we'll have the practice range set up by Friday morning as well. So people who are coming into town early, they're welcome to come out and shoot on the practice bags, and that's all included with their entry fee.
And speaking of entry fee, what is it going to cost anybody?
Yeah, so we've been very fortunate over the 8 years we've been doing this. We've only increased our pricing once. And again, that goes back to having awesome sponsors that have helped us, because that was one of the things we looked at. I was like, okay, we want to keep attendance going, but we got to make sure we can pay our staff to get this set up. And a lot of times people just go straight to raising the price, and we just did not want to do that. So it's $50 for the trail shoot. Oh. Everyone must shoot the trail shoot. And I mean, you look at that dollar per target or price per target, and that's extremely reasonable. And then we give you the option to add on the money portion of it, and that's additional $50. But all of that $50 goes to the purse in your class. So it's not getting divided out. We're not getting into the kitty at all. It's going back to the shooters. And then we have the NFAA portion, and that's where you're shooting for those real nice championship rings. But you do have to be an NFAA member to shoot in that portion. That's the only side that has a stipulation. So, and that's a $20 upcharge to do that one.
Oh, that's so reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, $120 worst case scenario to do all three portions.
Yeah, and you shoot one time, and it counts for all three.
Yep. And if you are in the pro, there is a higher price for the pros. But again, the money's going back to the pot, and that's how we're able to give them some higher pots.
You guys have had some pretty big names show up to this. I think I was standing on the practice range last year next to Robert Householder, and I was like, uh-oh, this is the big time. The first time we went, Rick and I got there a day early, and we were like, rolled in Thursday, had all day Friday to hang out. And I was like, man, you want to go shoot a little bit? So the practice range is all the way from, I mean, I think you have a 4-yard bail all the way to the 101-yard bail. So you guys don't stress about getting that perfect 101-yard mark. I've shot it at 97. I've shot it at 103 the 2 years I've gone to it. So you'll have plenty of time to get your 101. It's only 2 arrows at Bigfoot at 101 yards. And the best thing about him is he's like this. So I mean, if you get your left and right, I mean, you're going to, you might pick one off his groin or his forehead, but that's, I mean, everybody in the group will crack up. It's a good one. It's one of those where you usually have a couple people backed up watching you shoot. So you hear people cheering back there. The thing that I like to tell people about it is it's kind of like the Masters, where you see those menus for snacks, and it's like a hot dog is super cheap. The drinks are all $1. So it's incredibly affordable. They want to take care of you. They want you to be, kind of in your element out there. Cause it's a long day from 10 till 4 on day one, but it's not a hard course to get around. It's like what you got to tell people on it. They're like a trail shoot, like up and down the mountain. I was like, no, man, these are just regular 3D lanes. They just stretch them out and you bring your field bow. That's all it is. So, don't be intimidated by it. I've had 2 groups that survived a full 2 days on the mountain with me there, and God bless them.
To follow up to what you're saying about the concession stands, we're able to work with a local church that actually comes and takes care of that for us, and they use it as a fundraiser for their Belize mission trip every year. So it's really great for the community, great for the shooters, because like you said, they're very affordable on the prices. So it's a win-win.
That's fantastic. It is the most fun I've had shooting my bow on the side of a mountain at any point. It is I mean, it's just something that you don't see, because we down here at RASA, we shoot 20 targets in a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We might drive 3 hours to do it. And it's like, man, the time you get warmed up, like this one, you not only get a second arrow at every target, but there's 40 and 30. So you really get to shoot your bow. Yeah. And kind of see, I mean, you can Dutch one, you can have a bad break and not be completely out of it. You don't want to miss a full target, misset your sight or something like that. It's going to be hard to hold the dig out of, but you really see some guys that get on a roll and it's like 22, 22, 21, 22, 22, 22, 22, all the way down. And it's like, man, I'm usually the guy that keeps score just because I'm a little bit better at math. I got the math kind of autism as opposed to the other kinds, but it's like 22. Hang on, I got to borrow some. Let me borrow some toes here to count this thing. The scorecard's like this big. Like, it's a fun one.
Well, Josh, you've told us you run the archery department there for your family's shop and everything. Tell us about your bow. What are you shooting?
That's pretty embarrassing. I have a Lift X33 set up, ready to go. I honestly haven't drawn it back once. It's mainly, they say never let your hobbies become your career. And I not only failed with that on this side, but I also have a business on the side that we build chassis for 66 to 77 Ford Broncos. And Ford Broncos has been a passion of mine since I was 9. So again, I failed twice at that. So I'm wearing both of those hats on the daily, bouncing back and forth. So being able to recreational shoot's not in the cards anymore. I used to love doing it. Back in 2006, we were gone 30 weekends out of the year, going around shooting IBOs and various tournaments that year. And then we made a name for the shop while we were out there on the course, came back, and Dad's like, well, you're grounded. You grew it so fast and you got too many people coming here to have you work on their bow. You got to be here to do the work. So I'm just consumed by it and taking care of everybody else and letting them get out there in the field and be able to make ethical shots.
Fair enough. We definitely understand that.
I say y'all have a great pro shop up there. My second year, I blew the rubber deal off the back of my string stop, and y'all had the part for it. It was a Hoyt, and I was like, I don't know if y'all have it. Had one, grabbed it out, put it back on. We're blowing the whistle at 10 a.m. I'm heading up the course. So you have that going. If you need anything on your bow or you have to do any kind of last minute changes or repairs, they have a bigger pro shop than probably the majority of our Oklahoma shops combined. It is a fantastic pro shop, but you also have Lancaster coming this year.
Yeah, so super excited about being able to partner with them. It's something where we've had a working relationship for years. They have sponsored it as far as helping us get the word out and some social media posts, hooking us up with like 10 gift cards to give out as door prizes. And then this year we were talking to them as well with Eric at Gas Custom Bowstrings. They're like, hey, we really want to get this get the word out there a little bit better, needed a little bit more financial help, and they were both very eager to jump on it and help us out. So super excited to have them on board as the title sponsors.
Always got to like having them there. Show up, buy an extra pack of nocks. I don't care what arrows you're shooting, regular bushings, pin bushings, have them there. I think one of the guys I shot with the first year, Matt Pollock, was like, here, you need to shoot these nocks. There won't be any difference. So I was like, what? He goes, oh, yeah, those are trash, whatever you're shooting. So I think we ended up switching my nocks mid-round. So shout out to Matt Pollock. He's one of the local pro shooters. I think he's from over in Ohio, put up with me my first year. And we got off the mountain. He said, Neil, I was really scared yesterday morning that you were going to be this amped up for 2 full days on the mountain. I was like, man, I was just excited. He goes, yeah, you just kind of kept bebopping along and doing your thing. So shout out to Matt Pollock, Money Shot Bowstrings. He's one of the known pro shooters at the ASA. I hope he's going to be there this year. But you meet friends, you keep up with them on Facebook. You see them at the ASA. our first year, we ran into Blake Jerome. I
Mhm.
heard about him on another podcast, Archery Unfiltered, and he was shooting the 101 yarder. We were walking down there to get our arrows, and his are balled up like that, and mine are big old group. And he's like, "How you doing, man?" It's like, "I'm Neil." It's like, "I'm Blake." And I was like, "Blake Jerome?" And he kind of turns and looks at me, and I was like, "You're the guy that shoots field practice rounds on the smaller size dot." And he goes, "All right, this kid's been stalking me or something." I was like, "No, man, I heard you on Wendell Sousa's podcast. You're a killer." And he came all the way from Washington, flew cross country for this one. So,
Yeah.
how many different states have you all got? At
Yeah.
one of these?
It's usually around 25, 26 states. And that's the other thing that just doesn't make sense to us is how can you have attendance coming that far and from so many different areas, but still not be able to break over 400 shooters? But again, the people who are attending absolutely love it. They come back year after year. So it's just trying to keep doing what we do and hopefully the shooters will come.
I think it's an industrial thing. I don't think it's you. I don't think it's anything you're doing right now. I think the vast majority of the shooters, they're 3D thinking. That's all that they're doing. Staying local, shooting this, shooting that, qualifying this, and I think that's the biggest thing. Is let's be real. Field archery is in a hurt right now. So I think that you're running uphill every year, lack of better words. And I think that's it. The biggest thing is it's nothing that you guys are doing or not doing. I think it's just that you're running against the big dogs right now.
Well, and there's only so many open weekends. And I mean, we're stacked on top of each other. You've got your budget, and your budget's where you can go to those different events. And people got to make some rough choices of what they're going to do and what they're not going to do.
Yeah, by the time they travel, get hotels, get eats, I mean, that's a car payment for a lot of families, and they got to justify this extra car payment this 1 month. So, yeah, I get it.
Oh, you're going to come up there and win a whole bunch of money. You're going to quit your day job. You're going to walk in and tell your boss Monday, "You're never going to see me again." They're going to name a street after you. They're going to have a parade. You're going to have your own holiday. Come on, there's greatness in those hills. All you got to do is get it. I remember my first year, y'all put the scores out Saturday night, so you know where your standings are, which is fun. Because I was with Rick Gilly, and we're getting ready to go the next morning, and I just scrolling through Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, here's the standings." And I'd asked him how he did, and there was 5 guys in his class, one with him, and 3 of them in another group. I think they're in the master seniors class, so 70 and up. And he goes, "I shot pretty okay. I beat the guy in my group, but that other group had some shooters in it, man. I just don't think it's going to be enough to pull it out." And I'm looking at the scores, and I'm like, "Rick, you're in the lead by 10 points." And he he throws his jersey on and says, "Well, I can't blow that kind of lead. Get in the truck, boy. Let's go." And he kicked it into 6th gear like I have never seen. We get out there. He comes home with the win. I mean, it's not a game of like ASA. You don't have the scores at halftime. You can't give anybody an advantage, but this is center. So there's no harm in letting you know where you stand in the pack. And you see those guys out there that only drop, 2 or 3 points on day one. And it's like, I might be within striking distance if their, bow blows up or they roll their ankle getting out of the truck. But it's fun to kind of know what you can. It gives you a little bit of hope on the second day. I was like, I can break. My goal was to break 1,500. And the first time I was like a 1450, and the second time I was like 1476. So I got halfway there, and I know I can shoot a 1500 if I really have a good day and I show up prepared. But my goal is not the same as these guys that are winning. They're not going to drop 5 points at it. Do you know off the top of your head what the course record is?
I don't have that. I mean, the big thing is what I was going to bring up is we post all the scores for all the past years is on the website. So when they go to that frequently asked questions down at the bottom, they can click that link. But April's going to look that up for us real quick to see what the course record is.
I bet it's in the high 1530s because I've seen some pretty monster scores, had some big, not only the pros, but you'll have amateurs that are just 3 or 4 points under where the pros are. And I'm like, come on, why am I shooting against this guy? Like I think 1 year, like the amateur score was 1532 that won, and the pro was 1536. And I'm 100 points underneath him going, what's this guy doing that I don't know? And they're like, he shoots his bow really well. That's what he does.
Have y'all considered making it an NFAA shoot to where these guys can get their points for it?
Actually, it already is. It is NFAA certified, and they do get their points.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. See that? We need to, get that out there. That's a good thing too. Yeah.
So in 24, Brady Hempen got a 1535. So that's been the record for the pros. And then what was amateur was 1530. So it's not that far behind.
Yeah.
That's
is solid shooting.
That is a good clean 2 days, because y'all don't. I mean, and they're big dots. You can see them. They're easy to aim at, but you get out to distance like that, you can't shimmy shake one. You can't give it the old heave ho or just pull it back and punch it. You got to break them good. You got to follow through and do your homework on them.
That's the reason I can't go.
I know you've got skinny arrows sitting around behind you somewhere, probably been refletched half a dozen times. You're waiting to come into the outdoor shooting. Dave's what we call an indoor shooter. Apparently they shoot paper targets. We had Bruce Cole on the podcast back January before Vegas, and we've got some local guys, the Shot 3D Experience, that have very large targets. They're wild creets, and I've been telling them they like to shoot the distance stuff. They're kind of more of a tack style. I'm telling them they need to save a weekend, and we need to do an orange dot down here. I talked to April. I know she's hanging out there with you at the ASA state directors thing. I was like, if we can get a third one, Bruce Cole said that he would let us make it a triple crown between Reading, Wabash, and do one down south. And I think we get one east, one central, and one out west. It would be a huge thing to say, okay, here's, you won Reading, you got third at Wabash, you got second down here. You're the triple crown orange dot champion of 2026. Like that's a pretty big goal. We got a couple places we're looking at it down here that have the distance and the terrain and the size to accommodate parking, but we're just kind of struggling with the airport, or like what they're not near anything. So it's like, where are people going to stay that's within 30, 45 minutes of this site if there's 300, 400, 500 of them? And it's like, we're going to find one. We're going to make it a triple crown. It's going to have everybody buying a second bow, a second sight, a second rest, a set of skinny arrows, because you really don't want to shoot. I'm not going to say you don't want to shoot your 23s or 25s at it, but I think you're going to have a lot better luck with either a skinny arrow or a micro shaft or something. I think it's just going to be a little bit more accomplishable.
Yeah, and I love the idea of turning it into a triple crown. It's something that we've talked about in years past, just trying to get it to come to fruition, and I think it's what we need.
You said, I see the name, it's GAS and LAS. You said LAS is going to be on site. Is GAS going to be able to be on site also?
GAS is confirmed. LAS actually hasn't confirmed yet. Okay. So,
well, they're in it after they hear this podcast. You can't say they're going to be there. I need some extra knocks, man. That's 12. How are they going to miss out on $12.99? I guess that trailer does cost a little bit of money to bring, but if they can drive it down to TAC and the ASAs, they need to go to some orange dot shoots too. Yep. So we'll tag them down here. We'll hope they see it. But yeah, it is a fantastic event that lets you challenge yourself in ways that, and it's not, the best thing about it is you think it's going to be this huge stamina thing, but the trails are, you don't roll an ankle on a rock. Like, these are perfectly manicured trails. They're flat. You're not stepping over stobs. You're not stepping over potholes or anything like that. It looks like a very, very clean like we've had some people in Oklahoma the last couple of weeks say, man, you got to clean these trails up. I've seen old ladies fall down 2 weekends in a row, and you don't see that out there. It's just big groups. You got families that'll go with and watch. You got spectators. I think there was a group that had 4 shooters and 5 observers in us, and we got behind them. We're like, oh man, this is a 2-group backup. And they're like, nope, there's only 4 of us shooting. We're going to move pretty quick.
Yep.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say we've been very fortunate to be able to utilize the same course layout for multiple years, so that is why they're able to be groomed as well as they are. And the other thing that's nice about that is we keep the yardages the same year after year, so people are constantly trying to better what they got the year before, and they're comparing apples to apples. So the course layout, we might change a couple of what the animals are, but not the distances and the shot location.
Yeah.
Tell us about your shoot off. You'd mentioned that. So tell us what are you taking qualifications to a shoot off, and what type of a shoot off can they expect?
I'm not going to be able to answer that one right now because we're in the process of adjusting that a little bit. They did not care. Well, we tried something a little bit different last year, and we're going to end up changing it back, but we are going to end up publishing that here really soon. We're going to put out a video that actually goes through it and exactly what people can expect to do it. But it's going to get shaken up a little bit over last year.
But they can find that on your website.
Yes. Yep. Perfect. We'll get that posted, and then within the group, we'll post that video as soon as we have it edited and fired off.
Cool. Yeah. Neil, can you come up with anything else that they need to bring out for all the listeners?
Want to stay on top of your hydration for sure. You know, it's you're not very far off the beaten path, but if you're like me and you're out of shape, you don't want to walk in on day one and you get your heart rate all up and going. So, you know, kind of be mindful of your hydration. Don't pass a snack shack. Don't do it. They got water, they got Powerade, they got food at just about every one of them. Get you some snacks to kind of munch on, you know, keep your blood sugar up. Don't get out there on target number 35 out of 40 and realize that you are run down and in the gas tank. So tell people that it's a long day, but you're going to be well nourished if you take advantage of it. Me, I don't pass a bathroom up. Just go ahead, just hop on in the porta john. I don't know. I think they're every 10 or 15 targets or so.
Yeah, you nailed that perfect. It's about every 12 you're going to have a porta pot that you cross by. There's 7 of them out there, and some of them you pass twice. And then we also have 7 55-gallon water coolers that are out there. So again, a couple of them you're going to pass twice, so you can stay well hydrated without having to carry a bunch of water on you.
Yeah. It's go ahead and refill it, drain it, refill it again. Stay on top of it because you drive 10 hours. You owe it to yourself to give it the best run you can at it, and don't be that person looking for a built-in excuse. Oh, I got dehydrated, or my sight tape wasn't on, or it's still 3D archery. You know, everybody's got an excuse or my third axis wasn't set is my favorite one because we don't have the elevation here, so it's just like, come on, guys, do your homework ahead of time. Me, I just cut my arrows last night, so haven't shot them through paper, haven't even shot them through the bow yet. But I think it's going to be a pretty good one. Got the X impacts at 27 carbon to carbon, 3 Fletch Q2I 2.5 inch with a buck 40 in the front. Found a way to run the pin bushing with the knock collar on there, because if you put your arrows anywhere in there, like some targets you're all shooting at the same target. So if it's 60, 70, 80 yards, you're all going to be shooting at one big target. If it's a close one at 20, 25 yards, there's 4 people in your group, there's 4 targets down there. You know, you're left to right, be sure you're shooting the right one. Don't be that person that's shooting the wrong dot on the wrong target. It's a 0. I'm trying to think what else. Have extra knocks on you. If we do get rain, make sure you bring a peep sight cover and a scope cover, maybe even the bow umbrella if you have it. You're mostly in the trees, so you don't need an umbrella for like the shading so much, but your guys in your group will hold an umbrella for you. So we're all ASA guys down here, and you're not allowed to shoot outdoors without an umbrella being held for you. I don't get that, but that's a lot of people. That your pin will get washed out, but y'all are mostly in the trees. The wind's not real bad, and I mean, y'all just come take advantage of this shoot, because I've seen them, like there's a big spot in the middle, kind of down at the base of the mountain, where there's this whole layout of extra targets. So if you have a bunch of javelinas, you got 4 of them. If one of those targets is getting shot through, somebody's on the radio and they're running a javelina up the hill to swap out the one on the left. So it's a great event. They're doing everything they can to make it a premier archery experience for you. So don't miss this one. It's going to be something that's, Gilly took me once and I had no idea what I was getting into. It was like, yeah, bring your skinny arrows. So I get my little bow and my little Black Eagle Revelations I got from Dan Gaston used, smoking good price. And I went up there and I was like, yeah, I think I can need about 2 dozen of them. Rick's like, I brought 5. What the hell you need 2 dozen arrows for? I was like, well, you can shoot a little bit better than me. I don't know where these things are going to land. So apologies if you guys have run over them with the mower. I would like those tungsten points back.
Yeah.
Wrapped up in $212 a dozen, man. Yeah, we got to get that back. But yeah, it's an event that I really hope you guys see it keep growing. First time I went in there, I saw Joey Gervin in there, and I didn't know he was the ASA Northern Regional Director until like years after that. But I was like, hey, Joey, how you doing, man? And dude, he is one wild character. It's almost worth the trip just to come see Joey and hear some stories from him. So, well, tell everybody if you want to shout out any of your help, or if you want to plug your social medias on there where they can get in touch with you, and tell everybody one more time how they can get into it. I know you guys are busy trying to set up for it, so we don't want to keep you too long.
Yeah, so bassandbucks.com, scroll down to the bottom of the page, go to the trail shoot page, and then that's got a ton of information that you can digest on there, different videos. It's got links to all of our sponsor pages. Real quick, I do want to say that right now we got a little over 100 people who have pre-registered, but for the first 160 people who pre-register, we've got a goodie bag that we're handing out. Gervin Archery Instructions and Mountain Ops has put together a nice little goodie bag for that. So those are going to go quick. So if you're on the fence on registering, go ahead and get registered now so we can help plan to see how many people we're going to have. Then you have until June 11th to get your invoice paid that we send you through PayPal. So it's not like you got to pay right then and there, but we want to go ahead and get your name in the hat so we know you're coming, and get your invoices sent out, and then would be one of the first 160 and secure one of those goodie bags.
Cool.
The other thing I forgot to mention that makes this tournament special, when you register, you can put your travel buddies or your buddies that you're meeting there as a request to be in the group. Doesn't mean you're going to be in there, but if they can group you all up, they'll put a group buster in there to make sure nobody's pencil whipping anybody. And that's something that you don't see at big national level tournaments out there, where you can go shoot with your buddies. I know Rick Gilly already registered. I'm getting ready to go register. So if y'all want to throw me in with Rick, I'll request him, but I think he's already sent his off because I think he registers as soon as it opens because he's for sure going. So that's the biggest thing I can tell people. It's like, you're either going to make new friends or you're going to get to spend 2 days with your friends. So get your bow, get your skinny arrows, and get yourself to Wabash, Indiana.
All right. I greatly appreciate it, guys. It's been fun.
You bet, Josh. Thank you. And tell April thank you.
Will do.
All right.
Y'all be good.
Take care.